Hey!
What's up, guys? Welcome to The Return. I'm Josh Cribbs.
And I'm Maria Cribbs, and welcome to another beautiful day. What?
You always stop it at the end, at the beginning, and be like,
Okay, I know. A new day has come. I've been getting my weather sources from TikTok, like my weather.
You've been getting
weather
from TikTok.
updates. For some reason, TikTok is like the premier source for everything nowadays, and all
feel
these
like
weather
you're trying
alerts
to keep
were popping
up
up.
with the young generation. Ryan, TikTok, like
I'm
we're in
telling
a
you,
different
TikTok,
generation.
TikTok was saying that it's going to be a stream of bad weather in Ohio, and I'm turning on different news stations. No one really was saying it on the news outlets locally, so I'm like, wait a minute, you didn't hear that?
I didn't hear that because Cleveland is Cleveland. I think we expect, like, at any day or at any moment, it can start.
No.
It could start hailing.
Hey,
at any moment.
They said it on TikTok. It's going to happen.
You know what? We should do an intro weather report. Every time we start the show, we talk
Ryan, have
about
you
the
heard
weather.
about
What did Puxatawny Phil have to say?
Exactly.
Man,
Bartholomew
Phil had to
I
say
know he's a
about
lie.
that.
He a lie, and the truth ain't in him.
Bartholomew
Ryan,
is
have you heard
relaxing.
about this alleged or this severe
Yeah,
weather
I
system?
have.
That's
I saw something on the news about
Finally,
it. I
okay.
was just wondering, like, is my dog, because she's home alone? I'm like, I got to get home. Like, I don't want her to be in a tornado
Ryan, hold
alone.
on. What kind of
Not
No.
a tornado
what kind of
alone.
hold on,
I don't think
he's a
if
dog
you're in a
lover.
tornado with your dog, I don't think that's good either.
No, I could like you know how like soldiers they jump on grenades.
Yes.
I'll be
yeah.
that with my dog. I like jump over.
It
And,
ain't
like,
gonna work like that in a tornado,
yeah.
though.
well, if she goes out, I go out with her then.
There
Because
you go.
dogs get stressed out, Josh.
They do, but more so
You
lightning.
should have brought your dog to the show.
Yeah, you should have.
Nah, she'd be eating everything in here.
Oh, she ain't nothing really to eat. Ain't no like those bugs.
She'd
All
be
these
looking.
wires.
Oh yeah, okay, be nibbling on
Uh-huh.
everything. Okay, so they said, it's supposed to be a severe weather system coming in, but I think right now it looks pretty good. It's it's a little gloomy outside,
gonna
but it's
come
still
out
a
of
beautiful day
nowhere.
though.
It'll
But it
come out of
is
nowhere.
raining. Shout out to my family down in Columbus, Ohio. It's my aunt and my uncle's birthday today.
Oh, wow.
My aunt Prixie's birthday was yesterday.
Happy
April Fool's
birthday.
Day. Right, happy birthday to them down there. But they did confirm that it is raining like cats and
Cats
dogs
and
down in
dogs.
Columbus. So I think it's soon to come this way.
All
But
right.
Josh, you watching some basketball last night. You watching the girls get into it.
Yeah, we was watching the girls.
Mhm.
I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit coming up.
Oh, coming up.
'cause
Okay.
I want to
What you hopping into?
go into Browns
Uh-oh.
a little bit because in the news they were talking about the Art Modell law. Or did you hear about it?
I've been here, yeah.
The Art Modell law, Ryan. Legislation is trying to be passed by the city of Cleveland to keep the Browns in Cleveland.
Cleveland City Councilman
Yeah.
Brian, is it Cray? What's his last name? CR? I wrote crazy. I don't know.
But he's trying to.
I know that's
The
wrong,
city
right?
of Cleveland is trying to keep the Browns.
What's
in
his name,
Cleveland.
Ryan?
Brian Kazi.
Kazi, okay.
And we saw bits and pieces. Actually, watched a lot of the press conference
Yeah.
that he had. And Ryan, do you feel as if if the team potentially moves to Brook Park, that it's moving the team away from Cleveland per se?
No. Me personally, no. I don't think it is. I mean, I guess literally it is, and according to the law, it is. This Art Modell law, because I did my due diligence, because I don't think many people
Know what that
before
is?
yesterday
Right.
even heard of it, let alone
Okay, what
know
is
that
it
it was
saying?
a thing.
What is it saying,
It's
Ryan?
basically saying that an owner can't just move where their team plays the majority of their home games without a certain number of restrictions, and it's that the city council and mayor have to both agree to sign off on that, or the owner has to give a 6-month notice and allow people in the area to buy out basically that franchise. But the Browns are worth $4.5 billion, so I don't know anybody around here that's got the type of dough outside of
And not just
outside of
that.
Jimmy Hansley.
Right.
Not just that. This has not been passed yet. They've
So he's trying to make
introduced this
them go
new
through the
legislation.
legislative process.
The legislative process. And not only that, he was invoking when the team left. Again, that's why it's called the Art Modell, because he was the previous owner who took the Browns to Baltimore.
Right.
Now, do we feel? I don't think any of us feel that it's an equivalent comparison
No,
to
not at all.
compare the Browns potentially going 14 miles down the road. Is it even 14 miles?
No,
I don't think it's 14 miles.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that far. I
Yeah,
think
it's not even that far. It's an
10-minute drive.
eyeball distance.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
It go from right in front of you to, it's right there. Like, you still can see it to Brook Park.
Right.
So I don't think it compares to the team leaving to Brook Park. But again, you said legally, by the law, it would, of course, because it's Cleveland to Brook Park. and we didn't talk about the financial impact that it would have on the city of Cleveland.
That's what I worry about. You know, I don't want them to take the stadium outside of Cleveland because I worry about the Cleveland economy. It's already rough as it is out here, especially with us being in a recession that no one's really. We're in a recession. It's tight for everybody right now. So the city of Cleveland needs that stadium to stay here. But I do
for
the
businesses in Cleveland.
Yeah, as far as the Haslams go, I mean, I looked at it in another way. Like if I was a business owner, I wouldn't want someone telling me what I can and cannot do with my company.
Right.
But when you're getting kickbacks from the city and tax write-offs and things like that, I'm sure there's a bigger conversation at play that we're all unaware of.
Right.
You just can't up and take it and root it from a different city without some type of.
And when we discuss it, again, here on the show as well, I don't think we're discussing it from a city financial standpoint.
Right.
It's not that we don't care. I can say that. It's just that it's out of sight, out of mind, the financial aspect, the problems that potentially could arise from, businesses in and around the city of Cleveland.
Right.
Brook Park is one of those in and around cities that would be affected if the team were to move, past Brook Park or away. But I still think that it's not too much of a difference because, again, it's not even 14 miles. It's right up the road. And the businesses that...
But it's still outside of Cleveland. So
the
it's not,
city limits of Cleveland.
Yeah.
Brook
and so
Park
I'm an advocate.
is still Cleveland.
But still,
if I grew up in Brook Park, I would still say I'm from Cleveland.
I don't see it that way. And I do I'm a small business advocate. Small businesses run this country.
Right.
And I would just hate for it to be taken outside of the city limits and all those businesses that depend on that seasonal income or that influx of people being in the town around that time.
Right.
To have that hit like that.
I wonder if other cities that have NFL teams that move to a suburb in their in their city had issues. I know growing up in Washington D.C., it was the Washington Commanders, then the Redskins, used to play at RFK Stadium, right in the heart of D.C.
Okay.
And Northwest Washington D.C. And then they moved to Maryland. They moved about, I want to say,
how far away?
11, 12 miles to Landover, Maryland. And that's where FedEx Stadium, which is now old, which they might be looking to get a new stadium again. Their practice facility is in Virginia, way out in Virginia.
Wow.
Dallas, by Dallas.
By Dallas, okay. I know
An
what
hour outside.
Right.
So being in the city in Washington, no one was talking about the businesses. No one, maybe because it's the nation's capital.
Well, I think too, because you were younger. No one in your family probably owned any businesses that it would affect them. But hurt. I mean, it is what it is. So what I'm saying is now that we're older, I know, and Josh and I, when we get into business conversations, everybody's like, you got to take your emotion out of business. I understand, but we're human beings. So I personally worry about those business owners and how it's going to affect them. Sure, of course, people are going to still be booking hotels downtown, because you got to have places
because it's
for lodging.
Literally right there.
Yeah.
Even if the teams that will come from other teams that we will play will stay downtown still.
Yeah.
And then they would travel the short distance to Brook Park.
Yeah, I mean, we see NFL teams, there's plenty in today's day and age. I mean, the Bills didn't really play in Buffalo. I mean, Dallas, they don't really play in Dallas. I'm pretty sure they play in Arlington. So, I mean, it's totally a stretch, obviously, comparing moving to Baltimore to moving to Brook Park. I think he's more just trying to make his point. I don't know. But I agree with you. It's in no sense is it really moving the team out of Cleveland.
I would be pissed. Could you imagine where we live now? Someone ups and just puts a stadium in our city. And I'm like, all this traffic up in here. And you know what I mean?
I get that. But that means the traffic breeds business, like you said. The traffic breeds
But the residents that are already there.
It also
but the residents.
I get that. But it will increase the value of Brook Park. Because now you have more businesses, an influx of businesses, the influx of your property value going up. Because
but not everybody that lives in Brook Park owns a business in Brook Park. I'm talking about the residents being irritated by the influx of people that are going to be in their town for those months.
I understand that.
You know what I mean?
I'm
trying to get to Target and I'm sitting in 2-hour traffic because somebody headed down to the stadium. I'm going to be a little upset.
I get that. Let's talk more about it. Let's take our first commercial break.
Okay, when we return, don't go anywhere. All right, now, Ryan, your city, don't even say what city you live in. I'm sure it's a nice town, right? Say they put a stadium like 2 miles up the road from you. Now, you know your everyday commute to Starbucks or Dunkin's, Giant Eagle, wherever you go.
If you was a...
Could you imagine?
I would certainly have conflicted feelings. Part of me would be like, obviously, like, oh, that's super cool, like, you know, all the
It's
commerce
right up the
and
street.
Yeah.
But however, I will say this though, as much as I love the Browns being in Cleveland and I don't want them to leave, I don't necessarily want to live downtown because of a lot of that, because of traffic, because of I don't think it would necessarily be the same thing.
Right.
But I would like being a short distance away where I can't escape it. You're right.
Yeah, see?
And
Wait a minute,
okay.
Ryan never said he didn't want you don't want the team to move?
No, I want him to.
You want him to stay?
Downtown, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think
do you?
I think, yeah.
Because I feel like our last conversation, I was like looking at y'all like y'all wanted to just leave like that.
No, it's not. And see,
I'm glad you said that, Ryan.
Yeah.
People keep saying leave.
Right.
They're just going across
From the
the
beautiful
block.
shores of Lake Erie.
To me, it's around the corner or it's up down the street.
Mm-hmm.
So when we say leave, I think the only problem that I'm hearing is that the businesses in the city of Cleveland,
Because we care about
I
that.
just don't think that they would be affected that much. Because listen to this, the stadium is on the water right now, and they get a lot. Yes, it'll be affected to whereas that foot traffic, right? Because people, walk from
the hotels,
the businesses.
you got to get.
I think the hotels people will still stay at the hotels.
Not necessarily. They might be staying out more towards Strongsville or Medina.
And maybe that might be in the package for the team to leave. Like everyone gets a stipend or
what about
some
when you
type
wake
of
up at the
business
hotel?
credit.
You got to get some
Well,
breakfast.
I will say, if in the scenario the Browns do move, then obviously they're going to just tear that down. They've been talking about for I don't know how long now this lakefront development plan.
Yeah. When is it
Everybody always
coming?
like, what
Yeah,
even is that?
right.
Show me some renderings. Like
Show me, baby.
If it's gonna leave, then I want to see that actually come to fruition. 'Cause
Right.
I don't know if they're just talking out their butts or what.
It
but
might be
Right.
a new community.
there's
Right.
that's what I mean.
We
Like,
might be staying in the new where the new stadium was
Right.
eventually.
But I'm thinking like you, Josh.
Overlooking
I
the
think
water.
because you played down there, and let me just say this: Josh is from Washington D.C.,
I am-
nation's capital. He's used to all the oohs and ahs and all the tourists coming in. That's nothing to him. I'm severely concerned about the impact of removing the Cleveland Brown Stadium from right here in the city of Cleveland down to another city.
Maria sounding more and more
'cause when
like
you-
a councilman or a councilwoman.
I ain't gonna
Like she
councilman now.
Congresswoman Cribs.
Josh, when we go out of town, we wake up, we got to
Mayor
find
Maria Cribs, ladies and
baby.
gentlemen.
When we go out of town, we got to wake up.
Woman of the people. Go ahead.
I don't know why I do get a lot of people saying that they can see me in politics. Probably because I'm very passionate about what I believe in. And I'm very. I don't like taking no for an answer.
Hammy Lou
Fanny.
Fanny.
Yeah, Fanny Lou. Okay, so Josh, listen. When we go out of town, we booking the hotels. We downtown trying to find some gas. We got to get some breakfast.
Right.
It's too cold outside. We're gonna get one of these little tourist shops and grab a shirt or a sweatshirt or something like that. Then if we're going to a game, we're gonna hang out at the bars so the traffic disperse.
The only
Weekend Liz or
time-
any place down there, their business are going to be affected, Josh.
And I'm gonna be real. The only time the businesses will be affected is in the fall during
But a lot of companies
season.
only make their money
3
during the
months.
season.
Well,
you know what I
there's
mean?
2 other stadiums that's also down there. And again,
I want them all down in Cleveland.
I get it.
You need to
and
stay
I'm
put.
not against it or for it. I'm kind of like the
Don't you
Cleveland
go
Browns. They're
nowhere.
not about to be the. What was that voice?
Don't you go nowhere.
Is that the voice? Yeah, that's how the voice she does. Get in this room right now.
No, Josh, come on.
It's some adult time
No,
in this room.
I'm going to
I'll be
sleep.
like, okay.
Josh down there in that game, good.
Lord,
I'm going to
give me
bed.
strength.
Stop, Josh.
No, okay.
So you're not okay. You're kind of you want the stadium
I'm
to
just
stay
being
put.
devil's advocate.
Devils.
Devils.
You don't even know your Savior's
I'm
name.
being You ain't peeped that.
That's your.
She said you don't even know your savior.
That's his
Yeah,
leader.
I
That's his
hope
leader,
that's
no?
not. I hope
No,
not.
it's not.
The craziness. But
Uh-huh.
I'm just being devil's advocate
Right.
in the standpoint. They won't be the Brook Park Bombers. They're still going to be Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, that's true.
It's still so. I think we're getting up a little bit too far up in arms.
So when will all this? When is everything
They're
supposed
going
to
to
be
make a
settled?
decision, but I don't think they're going to leave.
When? Do you know when, Ryan?
I don't know when, and if anybody tells you they know when, they're lying.
Oh,
nobody
okay.
nobody
Nobody
knows.
knows.
There's so much just in the air right now, and everybody's left in the dark. But I mean, it's tough. They're not going to come out and say just things to say it. So it's going to be a long process. So
Right.
buckle in.
I
That's
feel
all.
like
And I
every
think the
few
Browns will
years-
stay there.
Okay.
I look forward to a new renovation. $1 billion. I think they're going to do a really good job. It's going to entail the streets a little bit, not just the stadium. I also believe that this controversy will allow the Browns organization to make the city do some real planning, long-term planning for the whole.
Like pour into this.
That would be the best. That would be the best.
Because I'm sure, you know,
let's keep it here. But hey, we want it to look like
the fact that I'm going to, if it has them, the fact that I'm going to keep my stadium right here. I'm definitely going to want some perks, though.
Right.
I'm definitely going to need the city to help, you know, make some things happen for me. That's just business, you know.
That's business. I get that.
Okay, yeah,
I get that. I want to move on to for a little bit to the Browns draft. Andrew Berry, and this is my standpoint, my take as it relates to Browns in the draft. We don't need much. It's not a lot that we're going to look at in the draft. We're not the team now that we once were in the past that we're always looking for that number one pick. We need to see who our quarterback is going to be.
Right.
We don't have a running back. We need to see that. You know what I mean? We don't need a guy. We have them. We need pieces to the puzzle. So in proper fashion, Andrew Berry was quoted saying, you know, we're not looking to the draft and right now players. He said the draft players are more long-term investments. Mm-hmm. So we are going to pick guys in the draft that we see the potential in. And that's going to maybe come in and not play right away. Ryan, how you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, most of the guys you draft in the first round are usually guys, except a quarterback, like a rookie quarterback who's going to sit behind a bridge quarterback. Most of these guys are guys that are come in and be starters day one. The Browns don't need that. And luckily, you know, we don't need it, and we don't have a first-round pick, so it works out for us well. I mean, you still have guys last year that you drafted, like Siaki Ika waiting behind in the D-tackle room, Isaiah McGuire waiting in the end room, that haven't got opportunity to play yet, but they will. And yeah, I mean, that's the good teams. You can trade for these star players and all you want, but the good teams just continue to reload and invest, and that's what Andrew Berry's done so far, and it's worked out really well. I mean, you got guys like D'Anthony Bell waiting there who are pretty capable of coming in. You got Rodney McLeod you signed undrafted waiting to come in. So, and injuries happen, so it's the smartest thing to do, and Andrew Berry does a really good job at it.
Is it wrong that you know how somebody can read the Bible, right? And they be like, wives, submit to your husbands, and then it's up to anybody's interpretation. You gonna do what I say. The Bible says so. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
When you just read what Andrew Berry said,
right? It's over to interpretation.
I interpret it as if he's saying, draft players be duds. We don't need none of them right now. We need proven guys out here on the field. I ain't spending no more money on the draft. And I'm just saying
that's why we use a lot. I think I agree with you.
And you know I agree too because I'm married to an undrafted free agent. Okay, so we're a little biased toward because I mean they pay like millions of dollars
to guys who ain't proven themselves.
Had not proven like you was good on the collegiate level, but you gonna come up here and get that tail whooped, and that's what happens every time. You know what I mean?
Because
like guys how much on him, he gonna be a dud. I feel like the more you spend on him, the more of a dud they gonna be.
And it's not just that. I think a lot of times
it's that.
No, a lot of times a fan basis. Maria,
it's exactly that.
Maria, are you possessed right now? Is that your side? Is the devil?
Go ahead. Okay.
Satanic
Stop
right
talking about that stuff. I get my sage in here. Go ahead.
Okay, but I don't think whenever we put so much stock in first round draft picks, we get our feelings hurt.
We get duped. We get bamboozled. We get tricked.
And we can go down the list of quarterbacks where we got bamboozled. We can go down the list of DBs and corner and wide receiver, you know, and the list goes on. So that's not the way. I've always thought that a team is made up of second, third round draft picks and free agency of guys who've been there and done it, improved themselves,
come in here and prove
still have a lot left in the tank.
Yeah.
I want to move on, and after this commercial break, I want to talk about the schedule that the Cleveland Browns have. So after this commercial break, we'll talk about the schedule. We'll be right back.
All right, now welcome back to the show. Now, wait a minute. The schedule has been released?
The schedule has been released. The Cleveland Browns arguably have the toughest 2024-25 schedule right now that's out because it's based off of their win percentage. So they're playing top teams next year. Teams like Kansas City.
I'm looking it up
right now. You got the Chargers. I got it right here. You got Dallas Cowboys. You got New York, who didn't do pretty good, but they're a primetime team. You got the Dolphins. You got Baltimore, of course, twice in our own division. But we got the Jags, the Saints, Broncos, who are looking for a team, and you got some other teams sprinkled in there. Raiders. Our division, to play our division twice anyway, we're already up there.
Yeah.
When we're talking about strength of schedule. But when you add teams like Kansas City Chiefs, when you add teams like the Dolphins, The Chargers, the Jags, and the Saints, teams that are playoff teams. Now you're looking at our record and what it could be and what it has to be. We have a fight on our hand.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the AFC North, right? We saw 3 teams go to the playoffs last year, and if you expect the Steelers, again, to be good as always, now they have Russell Wilson. I mean, they're always in the mix. Joe Burrow's getting back healthy. Lamar's going to be Lamar. And then you just mentioned the handful of teams that we're going to have to play. You know, it was nice last year to see Joe Flacco come in here and give us some hope in life, and I would never take it back. But now you reap the benefits of finishing second place in the AFC North, and we're going to face really hard teams. So we thought last year was going to be a battle. I mean, my God, Josh, next year is going to be absolutely insane, and potentially opening up against the Eagles week 1 in Brazil, potentially. I like that. I mean, that's going to be absolutely nuts.
Ryan, hold on. Where they going?
Brazil.
It's down
like Brazil.
He didn't announce it yet.
It's not nothing. Yeah, nothing's official, but I mean, people. It's going to either be the Browns or the Packers that are playing the Eagles
and
in
the
Brazil.
Packers don't want to go.
I got to get my bikini body ready. I got to get summertime fine. I got about.
What do you mean?
May,
you
June,
going to
July,
Brazil?
August, September. I got about 5 months to get
You
ready.
going to Brazil now? Are we going to Brazil?
I don't know about we. It ain't no iron team or something.
So back to the strength of schedule while Maria plans her trip to Brazil and gets her body ready.
Oh, I've never been to Brazil.
I think I'm going to definitely, Ryan, try to get on that trip.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
like, man, y'all need some Browns alumni and their families.
Yeah, we need to represent out there and get the the fan base of Brazil all to be football fans.
Go Browns.
I don't know who CB is, but I'll be in the CB costume if they need me to. Just get me to Brazil.
Brown. You're
For
so
real?
funny. But the strength of the schedule.
Okay.
And Ryan said it. It's reaping the benefits of having a good season.
Yeah, man.
Now you're going to be in the forefront. You're going to get some of those primetime games. But you're going to now play against the best in the season.
Yeah.
We're not looking at our schedule any longer like, man, we can see wins based off of the lack of talent to teams that we're going to play.
Right.
Nah, we got some.
It's going to be an uphill battle for
KC,
real.
Chargers, Dolphins, right there, all teams in the playoffs. You got Dallas. And not, let alone we got the Jaguars, but our division is the toughest. And we
Gauntlet.
got Lamar's Lamar, and you said it. We got Joe Burrow back. So again, this is why I go back to what I said last week. Our team, our division, our season will come down to Deshaun Watson being healthy. Because if he's healthy and firing on all cylinders, and he's back. The second half of the Ravens game, that's what I mean by back. Like being the it factor. We're not asking you to go out there and throw for 300 like Flacco when he was on fire. I mean, you're the it factor. You're moving the chains. You're creating touchdowns. You're creating opportunities to score like he did in the second half of the Ravens. Mm-hmm. So when I say that, everybody know like, okay,
you remember that one.
Yeah, that guy. So if he's him, I think we do well in this division and with our strength of schedule.
Yeah, no, I mean, we stand toe-to-toe with the best of them, even last year with all the injuries. And, of course, if you see Deshaun Watson come back and be what we expect Deshaun Watson to be when we traded all that haul for him, I mean, the Browns are in a perfect spot. We're bringing back so many guys that were dominant last year, especially on the defensive side of the football. Another year with Jim Schwartz, and then you bring in Mike Vrabel, you bring in Ken Dorsey, maybe a change of pace there with Deshaun Watson, get him on the right track. I mean, the sky's the limit for this team, literally. You have two-time Coach of the Year, Kevin Stefanski, now enamored with amazing football minds. Mm-hmm. And really, the only thing that can... I'm not going to go that forward by saying this, but really the Browns, in my opinion, is injuries and them stopping themselves, that being Deshaun Watson, not being fully Deshaun Watson. And if he is, I mean, I truly think the Browns stand toe-to-toe with the best teams in football.
You said something. We got 2-time head coach of the year.
Right.
I don't want Coach Stefanski, and I don't know how y'all feel about this. I don't want him to win Coach of the Year anymore. Because you see, that comes with something.
It comes with you're always trying to figure it out. Or
that means that you had to battle.
Yep.
Oh my God, look what he had to deal with. He's Coach of the Year.
Exactly.
And, Josh, you're spot on, because you guys look at guys like Andy Reid and Bill Belichick who don't have multiple awards. Mike Tomlin doesn't even have a Coach of the Year award.
They're supposed to win.
Exactly.
So I don't want Coach Stefanski to win Coach of the Year anymore.
Two's enough.
I want us to expect to win and win. We are expected to win, so win. I don't want us to have to deal with injury. Now he has to pull a rabbit out of the hat. Oh, what we got here? Oh, we're in the playoffs now. I don't want none of that anymore. And it's sad to say, no, it's not sad. It should be something that we should start to expect.
Yeah.
I expect playoffs.
Right.
I expect these things. And we shouldn't be worrying about injury and then our head coach has to pull us out of a jam. You also mentioned, our defense. The addition of Mike Vrabel from the Tennessee Titans. We already had a dynamic powerhouse defense. Do we expect even as a fan base, do we expect our defense to be top 5 again, top of the league, number 1 ranked defense again this year? Do we expect that?
I don't expect it. I certainly think they're capable of it. I more so expect them to be more consistent on the road.
And that's where they struggled.
They struggled last season.
So you expect them to have it more of an emphasis.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to project the defense being so dominant, especially in the pass attack last year between our trio of guys guarding the receivers. So I expect them to be as good. I mean, to expect them to be that dominant is maybe a stretch, but what I want to see and what I expect is for them to learn from last year and be certainly more consistent and travel more than they did last year.
So that makes sense. And I expect that too. I expect us to have done research on ourselves, to watch tape to see where we didn't play as well, which was on the road, and to be better. Now, we talked about Ken Dorsey. I want to see how has and I hope reporters and everything ask those questions throughout training camp.
Why don't you go down there and ask them?
That's good.
I mean,
that's good, but you know what? The reason why I don't, Ryan, Maria, is because I don't really want to be seen.
You got things to do.
Josh's
a busy man, right?
I don't want to be seen as a guy in the media as it relates to the team. I'm just a fly on the wall when I'm there. I want the guys to continue to trust me that, I know these things. Yeah. I'm not going to say anything because
you know the questions that, know the exact questions
exactly.
to ask. Yeah.
And the things that happen there stay there. And whatever they put out, and we can comment on the things that they put out. But nothing that a player tells me or a coach tells me that I will bring.
Well, just send me. If you just send me, you just text me the questions, do a couple bullet points, and
here's where we have a problem. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask, so y'all because I got highly distracted when he said something about us all going to Brazil on Big Plays Dime. We probably need to call Ken Miles, make that happen. Dave, call Ken. We going to Brazil. As a company, do y'all need me to slide into Deshaun Watson DM to see if he's healthy, to see if he's still him?
I think he's still him.
Okay.
And Maria, you're fine.
I don't care. I mean, he might ignore it, but at least I sent it.
You don't stay out of people's DMs. I'm glad you asked though.
Nobody slide in DM.
Don't slide in nobody's DMs.
Hey, bro, you good? Cause we counting on you this season, man. They trying to move the stadium. Look, you guys, we'll be right back. All right, now welcome back to the show. I'm just, I don't got no problem sliding in the DMs, Josh.
I know.
I
know. I just want you to stay out of the DMs.
Okay, I'll stay out of the DMs.
So I can stay out of DMs.
Because I got a Finstagram.
You got a fake
Instagram.
Instagram.
I started doing my trolling.
Oh, okay. Do you be in mine? Like, hey, how you doing? You looking sexy? I'm like, no, I am married happily. And I'm like, man, look at this Maria. She forgot to turn her location off.
She on the run. She right here at home.
Yeah.
No. So Josh, you have been raving about Coach Stefanski and Andrew Berry. I
want the questions to be asked on how the integration of all the newer coaches are taking hand.
Oh yeah.
So we had an addition of Ken Dorsey. And I want to see, how are they integrating his?
Because he's here for Watson, right?
His football and philosophy,
right?
Yes.
But is he just there strictly for Deshaun?
I mean, he may be his.
It's going to be a couple of plays.
His role may expand. It may be constantly evolving.
Mm-hmm. They'll never, ever come out and say that they hired him personally for Deshaun Watson, but 100% that hire was molded by hoping that this guy can come in and help us get Deshaun Watson on the right track. 100%. Can't deny that.
The fruit of that should look different. And I think with the hire of Ken Dorsey, we should noticeably, as a fan base, we should see a difference in the style of play, maybe more comfortable, because he's been there and done that.
Yeah.
And he should be able to integrate his knowledge within Deshaun, and Deshaun should be able to receive it and it should flow naturally, and we should see the fruit of that labor play out on the field.
One thing that I was going to ask you later on the show, but since we're kind of alluding to it right now, I wanted to ask you, because I get a lot of parents that call me and ask advice regarding their kids in sports. How does someone who was as stellar as Deshaun Watson was from his, where was he at, the Texans, right?
Yes.
How do you come to a totally different team and not have success? And this is just not geared towards him. When we watch certain kids that we know can play sports, like high school sports. Everybody trying to get the D1 scholarship, right? How is it that they can have an excellent game or excellent season, and then the next time you see them play, it's not there? If you're, because I ran track, I didn't do anything on your level. When you have the talents that you guys have,
right?
Why sometimes is it not consistent?
Right.
And any advice you can give to somebody watching? Because I'm clueless. Like, even when I watch our son play,
right.
How did you kill it all last year? Now this year you're like in a slump.
So what
happens?
Okay, at the professional level, let me tell you this. The first year I had success returning, the jig was up. Everybody now knows
they knew to look out for you.
Got cribs.
Cover cribs. And
the
I need 3 bodies. Cover cribs.
We're going to kick it this way. We're going to do this.
They on to me.
So I had to
don't let cribs touch the damn ball.
Right.
Don't kick it to him. Or don't, So
they was kicking over your head. I'm like, what
jig is up.
Yeah.
The jig is up.
Yeah.
If I'm a coach going against a Deshaun Watson or against any other athlete, I watch film on him. How can I stop this guy? So I'm figuring out how to stop this guy, what he struggles with. I'm going to give him only the coverages that Deshaun struggles with, or low percentage, or things that make him check it down or have question marks. I know what he likes to throw. I'm going to play the defense against what he likes to throw so he can settle for something that he doesn't like.
Right.
And we say that to quarterbacks all the time. Take what the defense gives you. But a lot of times quarterbacks want to throw the ball down the field. He wants to throw the ball down the field, but if they're playing a defense that makes you not want to throw down the field, you're going to tend to struggle. Yeah. So I would say continually to evolve your play, continually to rededicate yourself to your craft, expanding your view and constantly changing up. That'll breed that consistency of success. You can't do the same thing every time and expect another athlete who wants it just as bad or even more to just sit there and let you do it. So you might have success one time, but the next, hey, you got to get your game up. You got to do something different. It's somebody out there just like you who wants it the same way.
Now, when you talk about all these coaches that are coming in, Ken Dorsey, Mike Vrabel, how much of that has to do with coaching? And the only reason I'm asking this is because it was a time when our son was playing basketball where I'm like, I'm sick of these plays. Like, it started looking like he was a robot. The whole team was like, I knew where they were going to go, what they were going to do. At what point, I understand getting a good coach, because I'm excited. I'm be honest with you guys. I'm excited to see what Tomlin does with Russell Wilson. I just want to see how much coaching affects his play.
Right, you're interested in that coaching piece.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. At what point does instinct kick in over coaching?
Oh, wow.
Or is it supposed to be, now listen to your coach?
Right. I get that. And again, what that question is more geared towards the non-professional, because the professional has talent with fundamentals. He's been there, he's done it. He's using his talent on top of fundamentals. So he's fundamentally sound, and he's using his talent to add some flavor to it. So it's a lot of kids out there at the high school and collegiate levels that may not be as talented, but they have good coaching and they stick to their fundamentals, and that gets the job done. Sometimes that gets you to the league, that gets you to be a professional. And what keeps you to be in the NFL and to succeed professionally is now you add the talent piece. Now you add your will, meaning how bad you want it over the next person.
In the top level
Every single player. And the coaching matters as well as how well a coach can pull that out of you.
Well, hold on though. Because we just talked about, draft players sometimes, them top dollar draft players ended up being a bust. Are there some trash coaches in the NFL?
Oh, definitely.
You don't say, I'm going to say, don't say no names.
Definitely. I'm not going to say no names.
Okay.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely coaches that didn't belong in when I was there.
Okay.
I'm like, man, how did you get?
Because they hire their friends.
How did you get this job?
I'll say the best organizations that we've noticed, the ones that have the success every season, they make it to playoffs or Super Bowl or beyond, it seems as if they're not just hiring their buddies.
Right.
So we noticed that, but you would say yeah to that?
I would say yeah to that. And with that, I do want to move to our the game of the night last night.
Girls are getting
Iowa versus
LSU.
Or should I say Caitlin Clark versus LSU.
She was balling out.
I ain't going to say Angel Reese because LSU has some other talented athletes.
Oh, yeah.
But I think above and beyond, Caitlin Clark, without her team doesn't make it as far. And at all.
Not even close.
I don't think they may limp into the tournament without her, but I think they would have been eliminated in the first round.
Right.
It's Caitlin Clark versus everybody else.
Yeah, they were neck and neck, and they started pulling away.
I coined that term, by the way.
Is that your...
I'm coining it. I'm coming after anybody. Don't make no Caitlin Clark
versus everybody
else. But she was on fire last night. And I think she did the most that one player can do for her team to put them on another level.
Right.
I mean, because even as a coach, right, in basketball, like I remember when Kent State made it to the Elite Eight, the boys. Mm-hmm. They lost to Indiana. I'm never going to forget it. It was nothing they could do because Indiana kept shooting beyond the arc. Way beyond.
I remember
3-4 feet beyond the arc. And there's nothing they could do. So they had to expand the zone, switch to man. And every shot they threw up, they made. What is LSU supposed to do, Ryan?
I mean, it was an unbelievable performance. I mean, I was glued to it. I mean, Caitlin Clark. I mean, as good as she is shooting the ball, she was facilitating it just as well.
Right.
I mean, and you have to as soon as she crosses half court, you have to respect her. But then she keeps you guessing on your toes whether she decides to penetrate. And she mentioned in her post game, she talked about the key was just not leaning on one thing too heavy, whether it was shooting the three or getting to the line.
Because she kept them guessing.
She did it both. And when you do that, I mean, you have to do it on a player like Caitlin Clark, obviously a generational shooter. So a player like that quite literally changes the game plans, and all it does is get your other shooters open. So she did an amazing job, and I mean,
now
best player in the tournament easily.
Yeah.
If I'm a coach and I'm watching her, Maria and Ryan, I did see some flaws in LSU's defense. So when you're guarding someone like Caitlin Clark, you can't run under the screen.
Yeah, you got to get on it.
You can't go over. You got to go. You got to fight through it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because soon as you give her that's all. Have you watched Steph Curry? When you guard him, you gotta go through it and stay in his face and try to stay with them because all they need is a little ounce of space to step back for separation and let it go. And every time I remember the girl for LSU trying to fight through the picks.
Haley Van Lith.
Yes. And then when she was successful, that was the second part of Caitlin Clark's game, was penetrating and passing off of the picks.
She was barbecue chicken.
Right. She was just cooking, and it was like, wow. It was great to see the level of competition that both teams had. I mean, from the start all the way to the finish. It got carried away towards the end because they start pulling away. But since the tip-off, I mean, it was back and forth. They was shooting threes, then they was making twos. Angel Reese held her own. Yeah. They had some stars on LSU. I like LSU's coach. She's very emotional fire because she was a former player as well. And it was just good to see the competition. And, that's why we were glued to the screen.
I would love to be able to add to this conversation, but our streaming service that we have only allows you to watch 2 TVs at one time.
It was 3 TVs.
So who did you give our login to? Why is it? I was watching on my phone in the kitchen. Our daughter was watching in North Carolina.
My dad was trying to watch it in DC, and I was trying to watch it upstairs.
So anytime I would click on it, I would get a phone call. You cut the show off. Who cut the show off? I'm like, what? So I would love to add more to that. Clark has declared for the 2024 WNBA draft. So we're going to talk about the big offer.
And some more.
Yeah, when we return, don't go anywhere. So Caitlin Clark has entered the 2024 WNBA draft.
And LSU coach said
she happy.
She was like, "Man, I'm glad we glad you leaving, honey."
Yeah.
Because man, rightfully so.
Right.
But let's talk about this. Mm-hmm. Caitlin Clark was offered $5 million from Ice Cube's the Big 3 League. Do we think that she should take the $5 million and play? Because I think she can manage to play for both leagues. And I don't know how you feel.
Really?
I know how I feel about it.
You can play in both leagues?
Well, because they're in different times. And the Big 3 only has, it's only a month. It's only 8 games. And she's going to get possibly $5 million to play in that league. What do you guys think about this?
I think she probably get more in that, and those, what is it called? Those
NIL
deals.
That's if she stay in college. So she's declaring.
Oh, those end after
leaving,
that.
She's going professional. What you think, Ryan?
I mean, obviously, if she can do both, and that's the best of both worlds. I mean, $5 million is crazy amount of money, and especially
they're not making that in.
And I was gonna say, and especially in the market that is the WNBA, unfortunately, they don't make that amount of money. It's just it's a fact. And maybe that'll change because nowadays, I mean, we're seeing the women's I've never seen women's basketball be this big.
Everyone was watching.
Everybody was glued.
The
and
women are up right now.
Let me say this.
Please go ahead.
The WNBA players, they also play in Russia. They play in different states, different countries overseas to make more money.
But we don't want them to have to do that. They should be able to make money right here in our country. You know.
So I'm gonna just tell you my take.
There's an audience. We're watching.
I think she should put her big girl hat on, big woman hat on, and do business, and try
entertain
to get
all offers,
and try to get some ownership in the big three.
That'd be sweet.
And counter offer Ice Cube.
Okay.
I like.
Maybe $8 million.
Oh, you talking spicy?
6.5. Yeah. And
I love a man that's all for the empowerment of women.
Because it's all about her. If they paying her that, they can pay her more. Give me some of that TV revenue.
Right.
Yeah,
or I'm going to bring some more girl. I'm going to get Angel to come in.
Yeah.
And we're going to be this 3-on-3. So they should be thinking more. They could change the league. Yes.
If they could team up, that would be crazy.
Well, I don't want them to team up because...
you want to be a battle. You want to continue on the battle.
Let's be more of what we seen last night. Like if you take two people out, you got 3-on-3. Caitlin Clark and 2 of her friends versus Angel Reese and Flo and 2 of her, It'd be a rematch of last night. So I think if she skewed the numbers in her favor, work some business out, I think that big 3 league will pop off for her.
Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how excited I am to watch it, and great for the city of Cleveland that the women's Final Four is coming here. We get to watch Paige Beckers take on Caitlin Clark and the North Carolina State. Both North Carolina States in the men's and women's are in the Final Four, and they're taking on the undefeated South Carolina. So, I mean, it's honestly more entertaining than the men's Final Four this year.
I like watching
and it just so happens that I would argue that this UConn-Iowa game is going to be the biggest women's college hoop game there ever has been, and it gets to be right in our backyard.
Right. I'm a love that.
South Carolina. Ryan, you real cool? You cool with your parents?
Yeah.
Get them to buy some tickets.
Did you see the prices?
That's what I'm saying. They're crazy.
$900. $900.
I love that. That's like the lowest price one, though, right?
I might be on the
I love that for the ladies, though, because
I might be on the floor hanging out with the police officers and security guards.
You know I must be speaking down there on one of the panels.
Hey, I'm about to just
on Friday.
You got a plus one?
I know, right. Josh,
we don't need
the women are up right now. I'm so glad. Even though, us consumers, we got to buy those tickets. I'm happy to see that it's kind of trying to balance itself out because the women they are entertaining as heck. They bring a certain flair to the game. Like I'm loving the hair, I'm loving the lashes, I'm loving the nails, I'm loving the FloJo leggings.
Yes.
Are you telling me to stop talking?
Nah, I'm completely like yes.
You try to go to commercial. I'm just loving all of it. So I'm glad the girls are up right now. Ryan, you said at the Final Four is going to be here. I think it's April 4th.
This weekend, yeah.
This weekend through the 7th. They're going to have so many events downtown. They got things for the kids. They're going to have merch they're giving away. It's events going on all weekend long. So make sure if you're looking for something to do, you go to their website and check out because, we got to represent for all these out-of-towners coming to our city.
Absolutely.
And Ryan going to talk to his parents about getting us some tickets.
I'll see what I can do.
During this break, we'll be right back. Josh, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited. Have y'all heard about this guy that was, I forget his name.
Why you laugh?
Because he was going around New York City.
She laugh?
I know why she laughed.
And I don't need to laugh about this. No, not even that story. The guy that was going around New York City punching women in the face that were on their phones.
Oh, jeez.
The something
I didn't know we were going there.
Oh, yeah.
I take my laugh back.
I know. They caught him. They caught the guy. I'm happy. No, he was going around punching women in the face that were on their phones.
I didn't know you were going with
y'all didn't see that?
No, I didn't know you were talking about that.
Oh, did y'all see the man
threw us for a loop on that.
Did y'all see the man that's getting married to the Conjoined
That's
twins?
what I thought you were talking
about.
about.
I thought she was talking about. You went totally left field.
Okay, so wait a minute. Hear me out. Hear me out. Ryan, now we are looking for you some love.
No,
Ryan,
no.
Double the fun.
No, doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that.
How did the double mints go?
Double your something, double your fun.
Spearmint gum?
No, I don't know. I don't even know that commercial.
Not double your fun,
Okay, so
Ryan?
how does that work? If you're the Conjoined twins, I'm sure they're going to have some type of like Lifetime movie or some type of what's it called, reality show.
Right.
Wonder if I'm a conjoined twin, I don't necessarily like your boyfriend, and then I don't want to sleep in the bed with all 3 of us. Like, how does that?
I mean,
I'm happy they found love though.
What was that
don't
funny thing?
Don't say what I said yesterday. No,
I'm just saying.
No, I had just read a comment online.
There are some things that you can do with in a relationship like that. Is that like a throuple?
Josh.
Is that like a threesome?
In essence,
no,
yeah.
What?
And yeah. So he's probably loving it.
Oh yeah, why do you think he did it?
I think he's loving it, Marie. I think maybe it's the best of both
worlds.
worlds.
I don't like him.
I mean, to each their own, but like, you can't convince me that's not some type of fetish.
I think, man, he probably like, oh yeah, I'll take both of y'all. Come on.
Goodbye. Okay, so you know what? The eclipse is going to be next Monday. We got a lot of family members trying to come in town to see the eclipse. Is going to be like, I guess it's like a viewing spot right here in our city. So I hope you guys get out and enjoy that. Look, we're out of the show. We got to go. Love y'all. Have a good weekend. See y'all.
Peace.